I love that voice on Zoom. I wonder how many legal issues Zoom had before they came up with that voice.
I know. It scares me every time.
Every time you're like, who's telling me?
I'm like, did you guys hear that? Did everybody hear that?
Everybody watching us from this video being recorded, we just heard the voice of God telling us that we are now being recorded. The legalities have been stated. Hello, Ashley. How are you today?
Hi. I'm doing well. How are you, Mel?
I'm great. I'm really excited because you have a new program starting for the month of July for the Aunt Sister Project, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. We have, we're hoping to recruit a minimum of 3 participants for our progressive group training program starting July 6th. And this is specifically designed for cancer warriors who are in treatment or cancer survivors who are either in remission or now living without cancer.
That's amazing. And you just finished the month of June. And
correct. Yep. So we started a cohort in April and we started one in May. So we have 5 people currently still in the middle of the program that'll be graduating towards the end of the summer. And we're hoping to start a new group every month through September.
You know, what really blows my mind about this entire program and nonprofit you created is that you saw there was a particular need for people who are either currently fighting cancer or who have successfully won that battle and are now in remission, but also still dealing with recovery from the battle and possibly on medication still in order to keep their remission status. And I think one of the benefits of this program is that it's virtual. Mm-hmm. But I also know that makes some people hesitant, whether it's they're just unfamiliar with the technology, or they think the quality of the training has to be low because it's virtual. Can you speak a little bit about that, the benefits of virtual training?
Yeah, and I think the hesitancy, just as you said, comes from kind of 2 different areas. Like, how can it be that great if it's done through a screen? Or I'm used to going to the gym and I'm not going to get a good workout unless I go to the gym. Or just the hesitancy to do exercise at all, I think plays a role as well. But virtual training, like this virtual world, has actually been a pretty easy transition for myself, and probably I know it's been pretty easy for you as well. Easier than I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. Yeah, totally. But you know, it's almost more attention detailed. I think that I'm paying much more focus on these individuals as they're doing sessions. There's very few distractions besides, like, you know, a delivery guy or a dog, but there's not all this stuff going around you in the world that as it would be in a fitness center where you're getting distracted all the time, or the piece of equipment you need to use isn't available. So it's really much more client focused, I think, than actually being in a gym.
I love that you're saying that, because there are some people who miss the gym environment, and that totally makes sense. But I've had great success with my coaching and with training and yoga classes on Zoom, and people are loving it. And I know for sure that it has sharpened my skills in being able to speak. And what you were talking about, you know, seeing people and the amount of focused attention you're giving these bodies, you're on your game more, I think, as a trainer. And
absolutely.
Something else you spoke about that I think is fascinating that people may not know, but there's a psychology to training. And for some people, I think it's easier to work out and be challenged when they're also in a safe environment and they don't feel like everybody's watching them. Some people have sort of like feeling vulnerable, and I would imagine some people going through cancer treatment would feel extra vulnerable.
Yeah. I think, you know, on top of the, you know, everyday things that we might feel a little bit embarrassed about when we go to the gym, I think that it's compounded by all the different things that, you know, cancer warriors are experiencing when they're going through treatment. I mean, energy levels may be a fraction of what they were before, so they may feel weaker. They don't want to appear weaker in front of other people working out. You know, some of them have lost their hair and have to wear a wig, but a wig is very hard to work out in because they're very hot. Lots of body changes when you have a treatment associated with any kind of surgery or chemo or anything like that. So it's a safe environment. They don't even have to be on camera. I prefer it because that's how I make modifications and make sure that they're following along correctly. And all of them have been so far. okay with it. But I do think that you're not taking them out of their comfort zone physically, because they're still in their house. So they're just kind of mentally getting out of their comfort zone, which is, we're already half of the way there. So if I can just get them to try one workout, they're usually hooked.
Well, and I love what you said about the body changes, but also some people are coming with a fraction of the energy. And this is something that you may not be comfortable tooting your horn this way, but I'm comfortable blowing this trumpet on behalf of Ashley, that it really, even in a group setting, it doesn't matter how open the group is in terms of many levels of experience with working out or what your energy levels are. Ashley can bring a workout to people and help you modify so that, let's say you're like, I ain't got nothing. You know what? If all you can do is this, she's going to help you find a workout out of it. She's going to help everyone in this group reach their potential, even if so-and-so can do more on that day than somebody else. Everybody's really working together towards a common goal. And to your point about keeping the camera on, I'm not surprised to hear that everybody has kept it on, because I know that this program, one of the benefits is the continued sense of community. And that some people have become like best friends over Zoom, and like from all different parts of the country.
Yep, absolutely. It's pretty incredible. I mean, I have, none of my clients or none of the participants have ever met each other in person, but they are all connected, and they keep in touch, and they help each other out, and they give referrals to each other. So, on top of creating the sense of community where they share with each other, they have, they've all had their own journeys. So they have so many different connections within the cancer community and can pass that information along or refer, each other to whatever specialists or sources of information that they have. So it's been really helpful in that way too.
I'm getting teared up. I am, because I think when people see on the surface, like they may see an Instagram post or this video and they're like, oh, a workout program for cancer survivors. And it sounds so superficial on that level, but this is about helping people to reconnect to themselves in a way that's powerful, and to recreate a relationship with their bodies that's outside of their cancer, that's outside of pain, that's outside of fear, or, just that constant battle. It's a triumphant moment, and they're doing it together as a community. And I get all like, Ashley's doing God's work in the world, like this is exactly.
Well, and sorry to interrupt, but a lot of what I'm finding is that, I have people that are 15 years in remission, and they're like, am I even eligible? I don't really identify as a cancer survivor or somebody who once had cancer, because I'm cancer free. But, this is for anybody who's ever had a cancer diagnosis. And I want people from different walks of life with different journeys to be able to come together and maybe never even tell their stories, but, I want them to be able to feel connected to somebody else who has heard the words, you have cancer. I think that's like a really, really big connecting point, because I've never heard those words told to me. So there is no way that I can connect with them on that level. So even if they don't even talk about it, I think, whether or not they identify as a cancer survivor, this is kind of a form of a support group without having to talk about your feelings.
Yes.
which I think for a lot of people is really appealing, because you just come in and you sweat and you work out, but at the same time you still have this sense of underlying community and connection. So sometimes it's outspoken, but a lot of the times it's just, it's very subtle.
I think there's layers to this that people don't even know about, that sense of community, that sense of togetherness. And you're right, there's an empathy that we can give a certain amount of sympathy and be caring, but until you've been in that battle or walked that walk or heard those words, you need somebody to hold hands with virtually. And I think a benefit to the virtual training, it doesn't matter if we're in a pandemic or not, but obviously, like, even as COVID's cooling off, it's safer, isn't it? Like, it's more accessible from home too, and it's safer.
Yeah, and on top of, being safer, especially for anybody who's going through treatment who's already immunocompromised, not just, even without COVID existing, it could be a risk to go to a gym where we know there's, you and I are immune to everything by this point, because we have lived in
dumbbells,
lived in gyms, but not these people. So if you take somebody and you say, okay, you have cancer, you're starting treatment next week, you're going to be immunocompromised, but you should try to go to a gym and work out. Like, that's not going to work. So the fact that Okay, and on top of that, the other point is, sometimes for anybody who's going through treatment that may be, highly fatigued or embarrassed of the way they look, or whatever it may be, like there's so many different reasons to not go to the gym.
Right.
On top of the fact that getting dressed and walking to the door and getting in a car and going to the gym may actually take all the energy out of you anyway that you had. There's no reason why somebody, even if they're highly fatigued, can't even just log in and do a couple of things. And that's all I want, because they're not just going to get the physical exercise. Even if they just raise their arms up over their head 10 times, they're going to get the emotional connection. They're going to feel not alone. And that's a really big part of it too. On top of the fact that, it's much safer in this day and age to, watch out for the people who are higher risk.
And that sense of also not being alone, that even, and you and I know this as trainers in our own goals, that, even if you do something that you didn't think that, like, oh, it didn't meet my expectation, I can only do 10 of these today, plugging into that group and getting that sense of support, it's going to push you forward.
Absolutely.
You may not have it today, but just getting that little emotional boost, that energetic boost, it's going to keep you plugged in, and you're going to keep going forward, which is really amazing. What would you say to people who are like, I don't have 20 different weights, I don't have all the equipment, I don't have a squat rack, what do you say to them?
Well, Melissa, what I would say is that
get a squat rack.
For $5,000, this is actually an infomercial for my my new line of products.
Someday.
Actually, what we have recently started doing is anybody who signs up for the program gets a nice set of resistance bands and ankle loops for free, so no cost to them. We cover the cost, and that's what we use for progression. But even the first few weeks, we focus on core work. We focus on getting the cardiovascular endurance up. So we don't use anything. So you need 4 feet by 6 feet of space, preferably a mat. If you don't have a mat, use a towel. But that is literally all you need.
That's amazing. And for anybody listening and who's like, maybe I know somebody who needs this, or, I'm not going through it, and I don't currently know anybody else who is, what can I do? Donate to the AMP Sister Project. This is really about all of us coming together to support. You just heard that Ashley helps to cover the cost of these resistance bands to make this more accessible for people. It inspires me immediately to be like, you know what, I want to donate like even just $20, because that covers like a set or two of those resistance
covers a set of one set of bands, covers the cost. There you go.
So everybody listening who doesn't need the program, and you don't, donate $20 today. Boom, cover those resistance bands for people who do need it. And it's a way to protect the people around us so that they can get what they need and work out in a safe environment.
Absolutely.
Ashley, this was amazing to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The program starts July 6th.
July 6th. We're meeting Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m.
Amazing. Thank you. I look forward to more conversations, and keep doing God's work. The Goddess.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Or whoever people are like, if they take issue, the universe, whatever, donate $20. All right.